Hello, human beings. Vibrato. First, let's just cover the kind of basics and the theory so that we're all on the same page. What is vibrato? Vibrato is a slight pitch shift, so a movement in the frequency of vibration of your vocal folds that is usually less than a semitone. Semitone. Tiny bit less than a semitone. Could be a semitone. For some people it is, but I would say less than a semitone in an ideal universe, which is one we definitely don't live in. Before we go any further, if our definition of vibrato is a slight pitch change on the vocal folds, a really fast one, then this definition does not include an opening and closing of the vocal folds. An opening and closing of the vocal folds on the same pitch is given different names by different people. A lot of people will call it a machine gun vibrato, a goat bleating. I would tend, in the context of music and voice, I would personally call that a tremolo instead of a vibrato, but hey, details. Who are some examples of people who do this machine gun opening and closing? That's your pitch. Instead of you've got that, which is not a vibrato. Who does this? If you're into like standard rock stuff, the singer of Pavlov's Dog does this. Florence and the Machine has a machine gun vibrato. Post Malone, if you would like to hear a really fast machine gun vibrato, Post Malone circles. Just listen to that. Is vibrato natural? You're constantly in motion because you're breathing, your heart is beating, like you're never frozen still. Your voice is also never frozen, so yeah, there's movement in a human voice. If a human voice is singing bang on the pitch, that is auto-tune. That is there should be movement in the human voice. Now, does that mean that that movement is so big that it becomes externally audible to everyone in the audience? No, that does not mean that. So, is vibrato natural? Yes. Some people, when they sing, vibrato comes out and it is audible. Yay. Yes, your voice is constantly in motion. It isn't this frozen event in time. No, if you go to a schoolyard with a whole bunch of like 6-year-olds and 5-year-olds, they're probably not going to be singing with vibrato. Like, there are different speeds that your vibrato can move at. What I will do is I will link a video below by Justin Stoney demonstrating speed of vibrato. The human ear likes a vibrato to be around 6 hertz. A fast vibrato is usually called a flutter, see Freddie Mercury. A slow vibrato rate, so speed that is slow, is called a wobble. In the context of metal, honestly and realistically, metal is slightly in the direction of a wobble. It's a slightly slower vibrato, usually, in metal. You have a handful of metal singers who have a normal speed, like a really good vibrato, but they are very rare. Most of your metal singers are going to be wobbling. So if you decide to sing in front of a classical singing teacher, they might complain about the speed of your vibrato. Be aware of that. Why is the vibrato slower in metal? Usually, If you have been in a band and you've been on stage and you've been singing live at a metal gig, you might have realized how excruciatingly loud and noisy metal is. And very often, if you do a normal speed vibrato, it's kind of not audible to the audience. And so the more you can kind of highlight it and make it a bit slower. So instead of going, let's say, yeah, you're going, yeah, that, or you're like, the more the audience is going to hear it among the noise. So that might be part of it. Anyway, developing your vibrato, yay! Vibrato in chest voice and head voice feel different, or they can feel different. They can move differently, and some people are great at doing vibrato in the head voice, but they can't do it in the chest voice at all, and vice versa. Some people are like, I could vibrato in my chest voice all day long, but the minute I get to falsetto, I'm like, so you want to work with both, and you want to develop it in both. If we assume head voice, that, you'll start by doing a semitone. Same thing in chest voice. So you'd be going, Step 1, sing a semitone. Step 2, sing that semitone as if those two notes feel exactly the same. So don't go, same thing. Step 3, do that on all your vowels. Pick the vowel that feels the loosest and the most comfortable. Or, if all vowels feel fine, do whichever vowel you prefer, but if you notice that one vowel is like, and is a little bit tighter, maybe avoid that one for now. You move that semitone, and you try and speed up how quickly you're singing it. Just by a bit, move slowly to begin with. That. If you're lucky, when you sustain at the end, so basically when you get faster than you can sing a semitone, if you're lucky, you'll do a vibrato. If you're unlucky, doesn't matter. Because the whole point with vibrato is to move things around and loosen things up. So you need agility, agility, agility. Vibrato is an agility movement. Yay! Woo! That's your first exercise. Your second exercise is the same thing, but with 3 semitones. 1 semitone up, 1 semitone down. So now you're doing this. So you're going, you take that, you speed it up. Stay on the middle. The whole idea being that a vibrato is an up and down oscillation, if you will. So you're going slightly sharp, slightly flat on the target pitch. So you want to get that sense of moving around a pitch. Ta-da! That might get your vibrato going. Then your third step would be taking the semitone and breaking it into 2 categories. your ascending semitone and your descending semitone. So you do ascending, that, and you do descending separately. Depending on the problem that you're having and what you're struggling with, one or the other might produce better results. If your problem with vibrato is that you're not moving far enough, and you're not, you're just kind of stuck on one pitch and you're not changing the pitch enough, ascending might be better, because you might actually need to introduce a fraction of tension along your vocal folds so that they move up in pitch before they then wiggle down and bounce around. Vice versa, if your problem is that you're staying on pitch because you're like, and you're mega tense, you might want to move down so that things relax. Assuming that you want to develop this in your head voice, let's say you're singing symphonic metal, you're doing exactly the same stuff. Or you're doing down. So you're doing exactly the same exercises, just in different registers in your voice. One last exercise for you is the following. A fourth, a semitone wiggle back down to the root. So you're going that. So we've got our starting pitch. We introduce tension by going up a fourth. We bring in agility by moving around the semitone. And then we introduce relaxation by going down to the root again. And hopefully, if you're lucky enough, you'll get a vibrato that way. Woo! Same thing if you're up in head voice. Yay! Two little details that might help you along in this process. The first thing is imitation. Human beings are actually pretty good at imitating other human beings. So find a singer, find a phrase that has vibrato, listen to it. And listen to it a lot. Like, listen to it every day for a week before you even make your first attempt to imitate it and to sing it. But find a singer that you like, find a vibrato that you like the sound of, imitate. And then your second thing is make it visual. So bring your body into the mix, make it kinesthetic, wiggle your hands around, wiggle your fingers. So if you've got wiggle, 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 wiggle in any direction, in every way, just do something weird with your hands, bring in, like, demonstrate that your straight tone that you're doing is somehow stable physically, whether it's that, whatever, and then bring in movement into it. Could even be that. Whatever makes sense to you and your body. Another thing that you can do is you can get a piece of material or an elastic band or anything, and you can stretch, 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 stretch to remind yourself that is that kind of movement, and it's not a clapping. It's not an opening and closing. It's not an It's not that. As always, and as with anything with voice, it's a slow process. Let it be slow. Let it be a slow process. If you want to develop the skill really well, let it be slow. I will link videos below that might be helpful and useful, that have more resources and whatnot. Any questions, just type them below and I will get back to you at some point.